Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. I'm recording this outside today because it's just such a nice day, despite the fact that I have allergies and that I might be scratching my nose like I just did right now, or like coughing or like clearing my throat. Just because it's that season in the Midwest and everything is back and living, and we love that. But it does cause me a little, or medium discomfort, I would say, in like my nasal spaces. But I just wanted to come on and share with you all a little bit of like these revelations, realizations, reflections, new insights that I'm able to reach, new levels of myself that I'm able to reach when it comes to like my healing and restoration journey as a person who has complex CPTSD, as someone who's also neurodivergent, someone who is also Mexican and indigenous descendant, kind of. And I'll talk to you guys later on as I get more comfortable with this process about, I do want to make a video on like how I've connected kind of the trauma that's within my lived experience, how I've connected that to generational trauma caused by colonization. So that's going to be another video for another time, just because I am the person who chose from my lineage to stop and to not perpetuate the same things, but to stop and sit with it all and try to heal it all. So that's been the journey that I've been on for most of my life, but it's been getting particularly deep and calling me to go inward in a lot of ways while I've been in grad school, which has been like challenging on one end of like my outer world, inner world, as far as intelligence and imposter syndrome and all of that, and then also just like having to do all of this work without a therapist, right? Because I can't afford one since I'm in grad school and don't really make a lot of money right now. Which we're hoping to change all of that soon. So I just wanted to come on and share because I was hoping that maybe this could help other folks who maybe are going through something similar, who share a similar story but have always been too embarrassed, too ashamed to share it. Like, I know for me, a lot of my complex CPTSD and a lot of my identity is shame bound, is based on shame, and I no longer want to live in that way. I want healing for myself. I want to be and feel light within my body, and I want to be able to build good relationship with other folks. Also, just a side note here is that if you see me fidgeting a lot, if you see me playing with my hair a lot, I have ADHD, so it's really hard for me to just sit still in front of the camera, especially, and pretend like I don't have all of these like little fidgety things that I want to do. So that's what it's gonna be. That's what my channel is gonna be. I'm gonna be honest about my stims and my nervousness and my quirks, because I'm not trying to be out here looking perfect, So just a side note. So getting back to the trauma, I just wanted to share with folks kind of like these new insights that I've been reaching. One, to see if there's other folks going through something similar and being able to have those conversations without shame, without embarrassment of who we are, but with compassion, right? And with an understanding that like it's not easy to analyze all of these things. I love the birds. That it's not easy to analyze all of these things, But at the same time, like, it's at a point where, and maybe you are also at this point where you're just like, it's no longer, like, it's not, it's hindering me from actually getting what I want and connecting with the people in the way that I want to connect. So just to preface that, also another quick little thing that I wanted to share is that before I go into the story, is that I have a lot of anger. A lot of anger lives within me, a lot of rage. I've been doing work for the past, I would say, month of like connecting to that anger, connecting to that rage, connecting to that just like overall negative energy that I carry, right? And I carry it for many reasons, mostly to protect myself, mostly to keep other people away from me, because I have some serious trust issues, or I would say some serious trust barriers, and you know, that anger, that rage, that negative energy that I carry all over my body that people are able to quickly see and stay away from me. You know, it's something that like I would say like 10-year-old, 9-year-old started to develop, you know, because I had to protect not only myself from some serious abuse, but I also had to protect, you know, my sisters, and other women around me. So I think that's how and why, you know, my younger self developed this like very angry, rageful self, or part of myself. And she's still there. She's still been kind of the one interacting with people in my life. And I've always kind of noticed this about myself, that like people don't want to get close, people don't stay too long in my life. And for a long time I was beating myself up over it, because I'm like, it's obviously me, I'm the common denominator. And it's good, like, it's good for me to reflect on these things, not in a sense of like, oh, I have to change who I am in order to keep people, but no, understanding myself so I could be compassionate with that part of me and make the decision to, you know, integrate those parts and to love them and to realize, you know, what's actually going on here. Like, why are you trying to protect me? What are you protecting me from? And trying to have a conversation and a connection to those parts of myself. So that's what I've been doing with myself, and it's been leading me on it. ¿Qué te estás comiendo? You better not eat anything out here. Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. So, thank God. So, you know, I've been coming in touch with that part of myself, and also the way that it lives in my body, the fact that anger and fear live on my back. Like, I've been doing a lot of yoga, I've been doing a lot of breath work, and trying to connect to myself, and like a lot of my fear and my anger lives in my back, and they're both very intertwined. My reaction to things that scare me is to get angry, and to try to protect myself. So my back like gets really stiff and like locks up. I have been in instances in my life where it's been fight or flight, and when it comes to protecting people that I love, as young as I can remember, like, I've been ready to fight. Like, I've always been the person who will put my body on the line for the people that I love. You know, my community, my family, always have. I think that I always will. That's a part of me that I really love, and a way that my rage manifest that I really love and appreciate. But when it comes to myself and some things that have happened to me in my life, I freeze. When it's, you know, another video, but I tend to freeze whenever someone is, you know, hurting me personally. I don't know how to use that protection or that rage to protect myself in that sense. So I think I've been tapping more into it while I've been in grad school, because people just look at me and automatically think that, one, I've heard a lot of people saying that they're intimidated by me, and then two, a lot of people treat me like I'm an idiot, which is something common in my life. And then three, I've just had a really challenging time building relationship with people when it comes to academic scholarly work, as opposed to before, where I used to connect with people, and even in my like community orgs where I used to connect with people through things that allowed us to be angry, right? To be angry at the government, to be angry at these politicians, you know, public servants, to be angry at vendidos, you know, people who like sell out the community. And like, it was okay to feel that, but other feelings like I haven't been able to even identify or to move through. Anyways, I'm going too deep into this now, but I wanted to share what happened to me on Thursday, which also so happened to be the full moon. In the sense that I went to the gym, and in the gym I use my anger. I try to go to the gym and lift weights as a way of positively engaging and interacting with my anger. But now it's getting to the point where I'm angry at the people at the gym. And I'm angry at the people at the gym because they're men and they stare. Now, I'm not over here saying I'm the, you know, prettiest, my body is the most banging. No, I am not here for that. I do not care about that. I am in the process of loving who I am at every stage, what I look like at every stage. Is there something magnetic about me, Scorpio rising? Is there something alluring about me? Yes, but I am the type of person who does not like being perceived. I don't like people noticing me. I don't like people acknowledging me. Like, with a lot of people, especially when I'm just trying to focus on my workout. So it annoys me that men do, and that sometimes I get followed throughout the gym. You know, I've caught someone taking a picture of my body while I'm doing a squat. Like, it's gotten to that level at the gym where it's just like, I don't feel safe with men. I don't feel comfortable with men. In particular, on Thursday, this situation happened with a group of Latino men. I don't know if they're Mexican. I don't know what their background is, their ethnic background or their racial background. But the reason why, and it doesn't matter, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I grew up with Latino men. I grew up with those type of men, and these men are like in their late 40s, I would say even, you know, early to mid 50s. So I know what type of generation they're in, because that's like similar to my dad, right? And similar to my uncle's generation. And out here where I live, I don't know. I don't want to make too many assumptions. Let me just shut up. So I was at the gym and I was doing hip thrusts, and every time I go to the gym, I try my hardest. And, you know, ladies, if you also do this at the gym, like, I go out of my way to ignore these people, like, to not make eye contact. Like, my ability to, like, just, it takes energy to just ignore them. Like, it takes energy just to focus on your own workout. Like, I see women with like amazing bodies, you know, that they've been working hard on their bodies on the internet, and they go in shorts and a tube top or something, and, you know, they don't even give a shit. wow, like I don't know how they do it, how they've gotten to that point where they feel comfortable, because I am not there. Like I am not there. And like I said, I don't have a big ass, I don't have big tits. Like I am mid-size. Like my body, no matter how hard I work out, like it does not want to drop the extra jiggle, the extra and you know, while I'm in grad school, I'm kind of just accepting it and accepting where she wants to be. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, why I'm saying that is because I'm saying I am not over here trying to be like, oh, all the guys are looking at me. Like, no, I am not that type of person. I wish they weren't. And I'm still very much the type of person who's like very, what is the word? Oh yeah, I have body dysmorphia. When I was younger, I remember the biggest that I got was when I was in 8th grade, and I was like almost 200 pounds. I was very, very big. I was definitely overweight. I was depressed as fuck. I didn't realize how depressed I was. And you know, after that, I kind of just like dove into working out, because I had been bullied by even my mother my whole life because of my weight. So I dove into, you know, losing weight from 8th grade. I remember that summer of 8th grade, I started running. I started practicing, you know, unhealthy relationships with my food. I would not eat for weeks. I would throw up if I did eat. So I was just having these like really negative relationship with my body, but I lost weight, right? I dropped down to like 130, I would say, like 135, 138 was like my smallest weight ever when I was in high school, and into college. And it was just because I was like not eating. I was excessively exercising with cardio in particular, and I was excessively just doing a lot of cardio, not eating. So weight has always been a thing for me. I stopped with the, you know, not eating, throwing up type of thing. I think in my, like, I think it was probably when I was like 22, I would say, that I gave up all of that. But that shit's always in the back of your head. Like, it's always in the back of your head. And I was just doing it in other subtle ways with my eating lifestyle, becoming vegetarian, becoming vegan. I definitely did not do it for those reasons, but I did see the benefit, right? I did see the benefit of like, oh, I'm never gonna gain weight eating like this. Fast forward to me being 33 and going to the gym and being the most active I've ever been in my life, and, you know, gaining weight and my body looking completely different now. So we're trying to embrace it all, right? I went on that side tangent because I know how evil how, I don't want to say evil, but how mean people could be on the internet. And I could already hear people being like, you are not pretty, you are not attractive, you know, your body looks chunky, yeah. And still, men are out here being annoying. So back to my story. I'm not over here trying to say like I'm the prettiest fucking thing in the world, but it happens. When I go out, people hit on me, period. I don't know what to tell you. So anyways, so I'm at the gym. I'm doing these I'm not these RDLs, but I'm doing hip thrusts and on the Smith machine. And this guy from this group of men that I go out of my way to ignore, who I've already caught on many instances staring at me, going to the machine directly behind me while I'm doing a specific type of workout. I've already felt uncomfortable with these men collectively when they're together and individually when they're just working out at the gym by themselves, and I still feel uncomfortable with them. So one of them comes and asks me if he could take a 45-pound plate from my machine. And I looked to the left of me, and like, he didn't even wait for me to respond. He kind of just took it. And I was just sitting there, like, one, you interrupted me while I was doing my workout. Two, I looked to my left. There's open machines with all of the weights, right? Like, they have all of the weights. I look to my right, and there's a machine, and there's this person who was also working out, who also has multiple weights. I look at the area by the leg press, where they also have 45-pound weight plates, that was way closer to them. So in my head, like, I got annoyed because this isn't the first time that it's happened where people take weights from when I'm using the machine. So there could be men on the other machines, but they will come to me and take my weight. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm a woman and it looks like I'm not going to be lifting a lot, so therefore I won't need it, or that's the feeling that I'm getting, or I don't know why they do this, right? If you know why, comment below. Solve the mystery for me. But it happens, and this time I got annoyed because it was a full moon, and I'm a Sag moon, and part of me was like, this is annoying. Like, I go out of my way to not interact with you, to not talk to you, and we're here in a situation where there's open weights on both sides of me, in front of me too, and you have to come to me and take my weight. So I was visibly annoyed. I said some shit. His friends were looking at me, noticing my reaction, told him that I got annoyed about the weight, so he came over, put the weight back. After that, I was just like, whatever. I continued to do my workouts. They moved over to a machine directly behind me, even though there was 2 more open machines. And this has been something that happens in my life. Like, I get easily pissed off, I get easily aggravated, I get easily annoyed, and I have to realize that there's people who love that, especially men. There's men who love to piss women off, and they love to piss me off. This has been happening in my life for a really long time. That people who get a satisfaction from pushing other people's buttons, I attract those people. So, like, I just didn't feel comfortable anymore, and I didn't even finish my last workout, and I just like went to another machine because I was just like, you guys are so annoying. I just wish you guys would leave me alone and let me work out in peace. Like, I don't want to have to always be navigating the gym, like trying to avoid these landmines, of these men trying to talk to me. So I went somewhere else, but when I got home, I was just feeling emotionally drained, and I have been feeling this for a while, in the sense that, like, it's draining to be angry. It's draining for me to always be this tense. It's draining for me to always be on the lookout, always being hyper vigilant, and like, I also realized that, like, for me, I'm like, oh, and it doesn't so much matter with these dudes because I already feel uncomfortable with them. So, like, for me, it's like, do I actually want to be friends with them? Do I actually want to be in community with them? But it's not about that. It's beyond that, in the sense that, like, I don't know how to build community. Like, I don't know how to build community. I don't know how to let people in. I don't know how to keep people in my energy because, like, of this rage, of this anger that I carry, of this negativity that I carry within me. And I don't want people, and, like, I also don't want to set myself in the trap here of, like, I have to change who I am, and I have to hide those parts of me. Because I've noticed that up until now, that's what I've been doing. Like, I've been wanting people to love me in spite of all the trauma and all the things that kind of come out in who I, like, how they come out in me. I don't want to say who I am. I don't want to take ownership of all of that, but of how it comes out in me. But I want people to love me just simply for who I am. And lately it's been feeling pretty lonely, because I'm in a place in my life for the first time, I think, ever, where I don't have anyone in my life. Not a friend, not a sister, not romantically, nothing. I have no community. I have nobody around me. If we think about it in the realm of like relationships, right? Family, community, friends, romantic, all of it, zero. We're at zero. And also, if we look at it from another end, as far as money, I am in one of the scariest financial situations that I've ever been in my whole life, where I find myself really not being able to afford anything, where I am, you know, really just trying to stretch out the last dollars that I have, you know, and I try to take good care of my dog, so I cook his food from scratch. I try to get him the best because I can't afford a vet, so I try to supplement it with like preventative care of like, I'm gonna make sure you eat well. So I spend about like $25 to $30 on his food each week. And I'm also like, I also try to eat as good as I can because I can't afford going to the doctor. So I do try to buy organic and all this stuff as much as I can, and I'm a vegan, so I don't eat, you know, I eat more vegetables, and I don't eat, I guess, kind of the cheaper fast foods or cheaper things, even though I think meat is expensive, that you can find. Anyways, so I found myself in this very interesting situation where not only do I not have community, friends, anyone checking up on me, anyone asking, am I okay? And I'm also in this situation where I'm like, you know, if something was to happen, you know, God, Lord forgive, or Spirit forgive, knock on wood, somebody knock on wood for me, I would be, you know, in the shit. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. And I'm kind of at that point right now in my life where I'm just like waking up and praying every day and asking Spirit to please take care of me, to please show me what to do, because like I'm already on EBT, so it's like, and they gave me nothing. Like, it's a really interesting time, guys, because it's like, even when I'm asking for help on these other outside through these outside things, like I'm getting zero. Like, I'm getting like barely any help. And for me, I'm just like, why is everything showing me right now that like, no, like I'm just getting all of these no's around me. So even with EBT, like I only get $28 a month. And that, to me, like, it took a lot even for me to just even apply, right? Because I grew up, you know, with parents, with a mom who was on EBT a whole life. You know, there is like a shame associated with it. I know more people these days are like, fuck it, free money. But like, I got $28, guys, and I work a part-time job in a research lab. Like, and I'm struggling to pay rent, I'm struggling to put gas in my car, I'm struggling to feed my dog, I'm struggling to feed myself, and both of these things, right, being completely in a place where I don't have money, and being completely in a place where I don't have family, community, anybody, it's very hard. It's very, very hard. And also realizing that a big part of it is because of me, right? Especially with the community part. And even with the networking, like I just came back from an event and I always tell myself, like, just stay quiet, just don't talk too much. And like eventually all this word vomit just like comes out of my mouth. And trust me guys, I wish I could just like I don't know, sometimes I just wish I could be different. That I would have had a different life, but I'm learning to be okay with who I am. But I was gonna say, even with networking, I turn people off. There's something about me that just makes people feel unsafe, and I make people uncomfortable, and I know this about me. And I've been really trying to work with myself and finding what that is, not so that I could like eradicate it, but just so that I could like identify what makes me behave in these ways, and trying to find some love and some ease there. So I've been doing this work. I was at the gym, I get home, I have these reflections, you know, I'm thinking about these things of like, it's hard for me to build community. And like I went into this new place, this new gym, being like, okay, this is my opportunity, and now I've like put a dark cloud around that when I show up. Like when I show up, like the energy shifts in a negative way. And I don't like that about me, right? I heard the other day of like, you know, people who leave a trail of traumatized people behind them. Like, I don't want to be that. I know people who are like that. I've been myself traumatized by people who leave a trail of traumatized people. I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. Like, that is not ever my intention when I interact with people. It is never my intention to make people uncomfortable, to hurt people. And yet there are patterns that I have that do those very things. I don't know if I traumatize people, but I think they just get uncomfortable and they leave, including my friends. I hope they're okay. So I was thinking about this when I got home, and I noticed that like my body was just so tense from the gym. So I was like, okay, it's the full moon. I haven't been able to sleep before like 2 a.m. So I was like, let's do a little yoga. So I did some yoga, and I wanted to focus it on letting go, because that's something that I realized is like I'm letting go of a lot of things right now. A lot of people are exiting my life, and I just want to be gracious with it. You know, I just want to be gracious. I want to expand my body. I want to feel good in my body so that like new things could come in. Okay, so trigger warning for some folks. This might be a trigger warning. On like finding something in your body. So I'm in this pose. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a shoulder opening where you're like kind of stretched out with one arm out, and then on your back you roll back and your left leg goes over your right. So it's a deep shoulder opening. So I was in this pose and I started feeling really uncomfortable on my right breast. And I was like, why does that feel weird? You know? So I got out of that. I tried to make myself comfortable. And while I was doing yoga, and this yoga was like very somatic, it was all about like feeling your body, connecting with your body, like yin yoga, you know, like very much connecting with your body. Next thing I know, I'm like on my yoga mat, like giving myself like a like I don't know what it's called, but looking at, you know, comparing both sides of my breast. And I was like, oh, there's a lump on my right breast, on the right side of my right breast. And immediately I just got really scared. And I still am. Because I was like, this is the loneliest I've ever been. Not that I feel lonely, guys. Like, I don't think that I'm coming on here to get sympathy. Don't think that I'm coming on here that because I want you guys to feel bad for me. Don't think that I'm coming on here to victimize myself. Like, no, if anything, this is me, like, trying to hold myself accountable for my energy and for the shit that I've been carrying, and realizing, right, I'm telling you this story because I'm realizing how it's been impacting me, how now it impacts me, right, where I'm feeling it in my body, where it's manifesting itself as a lump on the right side of my breast. And I got really, and just the reality of it, like, I got really scared because I'm like, I am alone. Like, if this is what I think it is, I'm gonna have to go on this journey by myself, and I'm gonna have to fight for my life. I'm in a position where now I'm gonna have to fight for my life, and where I'm going to really have to look at these negative patterns that I have and really trying to undo them, because I want, like, I didn't just suffer my whole life for it to end with this. You know, I don't know what it is. Like, I immediately yesterday tried to get on the phone to try to get a primary, like, caregiver, or a primary, not caregiver, a primary doctor, not a caregiver, sorry, a primary doctor. And I couldn't figure it out. And then everything closes, and then this weekend is a long weekend because it's Labor Day. So I'm kind of having to, you know, really pause my search for a doctor and everything until Tuesday. So it's like, you know, in the moment, in the instant, I got really scared. All I could do was hold myself. All I could do was cry because I was really scared. And also I was a little bit high, so I was like, you know, just feeling things very deeply. High on weed, on medicine. So, you know, all I could do was, like, I just rolled over and I just, like, hugged myself, and I just kept thinking of, like, I didn't just come all this way to just die. Like, I know I'm getting too far ahead here because I don't know what it is. But I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I didn't come all this way to just and live 33 years of suffering to die in this way. Like, I want to be able to live out my manifestations. I want to be able to have a good life. And something kept saying, like, that's going to be your mantra. Like, I get to live out my manifestations. I will live out my manifestations. I get to live out my manifestations. And then I calmed down and I said, okay, like, I get to live out my manifestations. But it did make me realize, right? And I still don't know what I have. The more that I look at it, or, like, the more that I've noticed it, like, now I can feel it. Like, now I'm like, okay, I was this disconnected to my body because now I feel it. It feels tender, slightly uncomfortable. Like, I looked at it in the mirror and you could see, like, a visible bump on the side. I am, like, about to get my period soon, so I feel like my breasts always get bigger a week before, and they always get a little tender, so I'm hoping that these bumps are because of that. Although I did not find anything on my left breast, I am just really hoping that it is just because of my period. I'm still going to go to the doctor regardless and get it checked out. But I started, like, now that I'm noticing it, it's all I can think about, in a sense. Like, I feel it. I feel the tenderness. I can feel the inside of it. And it's there, right? Now I cannot not pay attention to it. So I got really scared. I try to go to sleep that night regardless. The next day I try to look up the doctor. But what it really made me think about was this reality that, like, I've been, not that I did it to myself, guys, but in a way, like, my body has been holding in all of this anger, all of this tension, and, like, it's manifested in my breast. Like, it's manifested as a bump in my breast. And I just thought about, like, I need to change something about my life. I don't want to carry this negative energy around me anymore. I don't want to repel, good people from my life. The people without good intentions, like, you guys can keep thinking that I'm intimidating and angry and, full of trauma. That's fine. Like, don't come near me. But, like, good people, kind people, because it's like all these things, like, I have to put on my glasses. All these things, like, I act out or, like, come out of me because of all of this trauma, which I'm working through, right? I'm not, and even with all my trauma, like, I've never stolen from people. I have never, like, taken, slept with one of my best friends, partners. Like, I try to be a good person. Like, even with all of the rage, anger that I have inside, like, I still try to be a good human being. Like, I've never, like, even to the people who have left my life, like, what I did was say, like, that's not okay. Like, the fact that you treated me this way isn't okay, and, like, they stopped talking to me, right? I'm also not trying to, like, absolve myself of responsibility. Like, I know that the negative energy that I carry. I know the I know who I am, and I know why, and now I know why I am the way that I am, and I'm having the ability to change those things. So I'm not gonna blame myself for this. And for all of you watching that are probably like, yeah, but you probably did something to them. Yeah, I think I wear people out with my shit. It's like, eventually things in my life keep happening, right? I don't know if you guys ever read the book A Series of Unfortunate Events when you were children, but, like, my life has been a little bit something like that. So it's been hard to not be negative, to not speak about the reality of things that continue to happen for me, right? Maybe to realize something. But, now I've gotten to this part with myself, and I don't really know what to do. I've been trying to really stay calm. I've been trying to not interact with people from a place of anger. I've been trying to calm myself down because I don't want this to be, I don't even want to say the word, but I don't want this to be what it could be. I don't want this to be, and I'm talking about the lump on my breast. I don't want this to be something that I'm gonna need surgery for. I don't want this to be anything scary. Like, I'm not even a mother yet. Like, I'm not even, I haven't lived out my manifestations. I don't want to die at 33 alone, which is, like, one of my biggest fears, is just, like, dying alone, like, not having anyone in my life. and with no money. Like, that's not, I didn't work this hard in my life just for it to end like this. So I'm gonna choose a different path. I'm gonna choose a different way. I still don't know what that is. I just came to this realization. I just came to this moment of, you know, realizing that, like, when people say of, like, you know, when you're angry and you're holding like a hot coal in your hand, like, the only person that gets burned is you. And like, that's what I feel like, being angry my whole life. Like, I've been holding that hot coal, thinking so much about them without thinking about me, and thinking about how it was affecting me. So when I talked about in my reading about letting go, my full moon reading about letting go, and this is before I realized this about letting go, like, that's what I'm trying to say of, like, let go in a way that you're not carrying this inside of your body. And if you are, like, please identify where it is and try to release it so that it doesn't manifest in something, you know, scary. Like what it did for me. It's been a huge wake-up call. Huge wake-up call. It's kind of put a fire under my ass of, like, you better write that thesis now, because I don't want to be going through doctor visits and all of that while still writing my thesis. And I'm close, guys. I'm close. I was just kind of like, okay, this is whatever journey this is, I will be able, like, I will be fine. I will be able to go through it. I will find a good paying job. And I will go from there. The first step is just going to the doctor, right? Just going to the doctor and figuring out what it is and eliminating some possibilities. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and share with you all. Please be gentle with yourselves. Please be compassionate with yourselves. Please don't move around in a way of, like, I have to change myself in order for people to like me. I hope that's not what you're getting from the video. At the same time, where, like, all these people have left my life, I have never felt this connected to myself. It's allowed me to get to know who I am. It's allowed me to ask questions of, like, why do I act the way that I do? I'm not trying to, you know, change myself for others. I'm trying to heal myself, so that I can be okay, so that I could live a good life. Like, I saw somewhere that she's a psychologist on YouTube, and she was saying how, like, people with complex CPTSD or complex PTSD, because complex CPTSD is repetitive, they will never be, right, healing is never, they will not be ever like other people who did not have those traumatic experiences. So, like, I'm coming to a point of where I'm like, okay, then who is that person? Who is the most, you know, I just want to be at ease. Like, when I think about my life, when I think about my future, like, I just want to be at ease. I want to make enough money to where I'm able to take care of myself, of my children, of my pets, of my family. Like, I want enough money to where I can help my family out, where I can help my community out. Like, that brings me joy, you know, to think about those things. I just want to be okay. I just want, you know, my house in Mexico. You know, I just want my projects to continue. I just want to keep helping this beautiful planet. I just want to keep, you know, connecting with my spiritual, with my spirit, and with spirit, and with my ancestors. Like, that's really what I want. And I'm glad that I'm in this point, even though it was a it was a wake-up call. I'm glad that I'm in this place where I'm able to connect with that part of myself now and to say, okay, I'm ready to look at you. Because I'm ready to have better relationships in my life, you know? And I'm also ready to be, the most calm person. Like, it makes me, maybe not calm, but it makes me excited to have inner peace, and to have, what is it called? A regulated nervous system. Like, that for me are like big wins. And yeah, I think that those are mainly the goals. I'll keep you guys updated with what this situation turns out to be. And yeah, I'm gonna keep coming on here doing collective energy readings. If you are interested in a one-on-one reading, please feel free to just like write it in the comments and I will reach out to you. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and share that with you guys. Maybe this will help anybody out there who maybe not so extreme as like my situation, but is also kind of at this point where they've hit this, or they've touched this part of themselves that is like very negative, right? Where they've met their anger, where they've met their rage, where they're connecting with it in a physical level, and where they're ready to, heal through it and let some of the stuff that we've been holding on to go, so that they can, just evolve in different ways. So I hope this video helped you all, and I look forward to connecting with you guys again. All right.